Why he get fired?
I got fired.
Did he ever tell you about that? When he got fired from our summer camp?
Yeah, because
Because he was catching fucking Pokemon.
Well, did you catch them all?
Yo, we
I
tried.
literally-
We literally tried.
The only ones that would appear at St. Lawrence were the little mini ones, the ones that weren't even that good.
All right, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Undeclared. Today, we got Joel Lopez as our guest. Me and Joel Lopez go back pretty far. Since we were kids, we grew up together,
Really
kind
far.
of from middle school. I guess it's growing up together, right?
Yeah, basically.
But like we said, last week you heard about Josie and I, and a bit about our history and our life and our journey. So today we're gonna be, hearing about him, and every week we're gonna be hearing someone new. So without further ado, why don't you go and kick us off, Joel? Tell us about yourself.
All right,
What
guys.
about you?
For those of you that don't know me, my name is Joel Lopez, and like Ruben said, we go way back. I remember we used to tell people we were cousins.
Still do.
We still do.
We still do that.
Right now, I do delivery like DoorDash and Uber Eats, and I've been doing that for about 2 years now. It's basically since COVID started back in April of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing that for a little over 2 years, and I'm doing all right for myself.
Do you enjoy that?
It's all right. It's pretty good.
How did that transition, because I remember you were big on business.
Well,
You were trying to be self-made.
I was big on having a lifestyle. I have a certain lifestyle that I want.
Do you currently have that?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
So you have a goal.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was different because for about 4 years since graduating high school, basically towards the end of summer of 2016, I got into doing life insurance and retirement and all that kind of stuff. And I did that for about 4 years, and it was very different going from an office, wearing suits, doing numbers, meeting with people, learning how to talk to people, and all of a sudden going into basically isolation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you're on your own in a car
Yeah.
for 8-10 hours a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only communication you have with people is, I'm here to pick up so-and-so's order, and that's it.
That was it.
That's
So-
it.
Going back to the whole businessman, right? Because obviously you guys got some history and all that.
Mhm.
So did you always have that businessman mindset, in your early years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When did that start?
I'd probably say towards either the end of middle school, beginning of high school.
Okay.
I've always wanted to have a certain lifestyle. Always wanted to have these cars and the watches, the big house. Back then it was the bling, right?
Okay.
It was all the cool stuff that the rappers had.
Okay.
And I was always like, okay, the only way I'm gonna get this is if I have a business,
Mm.
right? Because it's unlimited income potential,
Yes.
right? Obviously based on how hard you work, right?
Mhm.
The consistency of it, the persistency, all that kind of stuff, right? And that kept growing and growing, that even throughout high school, I ended up selling candy for a couple years.
I remember
Hey,
this.
business
Yeah.
was booming that.
No, it really was.
Yeah.
I bought some. I remember.
Yeah, I know you did. But I remember because we had a friend. His name was Tomas.
Mm-hmm.
Tomas. If
Meyer.
yeah, Tomas Mier.
Oh yeah.
Mier.
Yeah.
Tomas, if you're watching this, shout out to you. So Tomas, he actually kind of inspired me to you know what? If he did it to go on a trip to China in 8th grade, I can do it for whatever I want for my personal purposes.
Okay.
So Tomas inspired you.
Basically, because I was
from when? What grade was this?
this was 8th grade when they went to China.
I remember them going to China. Why did they go to China?
I think it was
ASB not ASB.
I don't remember, but it was because we had foreign exchange students here. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah. I think
And
so.
then they were like, oh, some
Vice
people,
versa.
yeah, vice versa. They're going to go over there for I think it was 2 weeks or something like that.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, if Tomas can do it and raise a lot of money, basically $2,000 to go to the trip to China,
Mm-hmm.
I can do that. So I can pay for my personal expenses.
Okay.
So after that, I was like, you know what, let's do it. So I remember my mom, I told her the idea, and she's like, all right, you know what? Here's $30. Let's see what you can do with that.
Oh, okay.
So she gave me $30. I went to the Smart and Final here on El Camino,
Okay.
and I bought my first 2 boxes.
Uh-huh.
It was a variety pack, and it had Twix, it had Starburst, Skittles, the sour Skittles,
Mm-hmm.
and I bought 2 of those boxes. The next day, I went to school, and I sold like 5 candies maybe,
Mm-hmm.
but I was
For
like
how much a piece?
$1 a piece. So I would buy them in bulk. It was like
Mhm.
50 cents a piece,
Yeah.
and then eventually, like the dollar, it's a 50-cent profit,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
right? But seeing money like that, I was
Yeah.
like, if I know anything about business, all right,
Uh-huh.
sometimes you got to sacrifice.
Okay.
Right. So I was like, let me just reinvest my earnings 100%.
Uh-huh.
And for like the first month, everything that I made, I would just put it back into selling candy, buying more candy, going to
Candy.
Costco, and going to Smart and Final. Those 2 places are my best friend. Oh, they were back then.
Back then. Smart
Now-
and Final and where?
And Costco.
Costco.
Now
Yeah.
tell me, because me being a teacher, I would love to hear it. Did anyone catch you? Did anyone say
Oh, they
anything?
did. They
I
did.
I remember it was
Multiple
a scandal.
times.
It was a
Multiple
scandal.
times.
Ooh.
Multiple times.
Multiple times.
The
I
business
remember
had
They
to keep
shut.
going.
They shut the candy shop down.
They did. People were trying to get into the candy shop, and it wasn't in business that day. And eventually it came where like, oh, if you don't stop, we're gonna write you up for like a health code violation because you
Yeah.
don't have a health permit. And I was like,
Costco is the cleanest place.
I
I'm
was,
sorry.
and not even that. Like, trust me, if someone had what's it called, allergies to like nuts, trust me, you would see it.
Yeah.
Come on, it's Twix,
Yeah.
right?
They know what they can and can't.
Yeah,
eat.
exactly. Like, dude, you're 18. You know what you can and cannot
Cannot
eat.
have.
So you were selling this till 18?
I was selling this my junior and senior year.
Ooh.
All the way up to junior, senior year.
Both of them. No,
Both
I
of them.
started junior year.
Finish senior year.
Finish.
Oh, I thought you started as an
2-year
eighth-
business.
in eighth
No.
grade.
Tomas did it in 8th grade, and he inspired me. I did it junior year.
Oh
I totally
my
thought I bought candy from. Who did I buy candy from then? If it wasn't
Probably
you?
Tomas.
Probably Tomas.
Yeah.
Probably.
And I was like, I saw this girl doing it again junior year, and I was like,
Trying to be my competition right now.
and I saw her. I was like, you know what? Like,
Yo, candy
I
bar.
know more people than you. Like,
I know.
I was like, nah.
Bro, you
I-
don't got it like that.
I was like, hold on. So I went, got the candy, and then I just started being consistent with it, bringing it every day. I'd bring it in the Walmart reusable bags.
I remember.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought in the Walmart reusable bags, and people, first it was like the baseball team because they were my friends.
Mm.
Yeah,
And then people from my classes, especially Avid class.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my Avid class teacher, Ms. Dow. She was very supportive.
What's Avid? I never knew what Avid was.
Avid basically you learn about colleges, getting you prepared for college all 4 years.
Mhm.
Your college prep.
College
class?
prep.
Basically,
Ah, got it,
basically
okay.
in layman's terms. And she was very supportive, and basically, started doing candy, started being more consistent with it. Eventually, I remember I even bought an iPad Mini. Eventually,
Oh,
when I was like,
wow.
yeah, I bought an iPad Mini when they first came out. That was like the first year they came out, I believe. And I was like, okay, let me buy my first thing. So I bought an iPad Mini. I immediately learned about the app Numbers,
Uh-huh.
and I downloaded it, or I made like a little graph and like a little system, so I could actually keep track of each candy and which days it would sell the most.
Wow.
So I did notice that Wednesday, I was like, okay, holy shit, I sold like 30 Twix today, 20 Reese's,
It was
and a bunch of
chocolate
Skittles.
day.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
a chocolate day. I was like, okay, cool. So for the next week, I would bring on those days more chocolate.
Okay.
So
Oh.
it would basically keep track of everything, and I would see, I was like, literally, like I had like the 7-8 candies on Monday. You would see which one was the most, and then on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, Monday through Friday.
So at the end, right, your senior year, you stopped. How much you would say did you make profit?
Profit.
Did
it's
you
hard.
keep track?
And honestly, I didn't, and if I did, I lost everything.
Yeah, okay.
Because because I didn't know. I wasn't really tech savvy. I didn't know about iCloud, and I wasn't really that organized.
Dang,
Okay.
but ballpark. I mean, it was an
Probably say
iPad Mini.
Is it hundreds or thousands of dollars?
It's thousands.
Really?
Ooh. Hey, for a high schooler, that goes a long way.
Yeah. You know,
I never knew you went that deep with it.
I did, bro.
Because like no one knew that.
No, and not just no one knew, but it wasn't allowed. Eventually, like even people from like that were when I was a junior year, I kind of made a name for myself, like the Candyman, and I was like, oh, okay,
I
cool.
remember that.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then eventually, like people that were older than me, like seniors, they were coming to me, hey, bro, I just want to ask for your permission. Can I sell candy too? I was like, fuck yeah, bro. I was like, bro, go ahead. Like I ain't stopping you. Get your bag, bro. And you know, people started selling like other varieties of this. They started selling like, I don't know, fucking the sour strings, you know, something different. And I stuck to my main thing. It was like the 5 food groups, like the little food pyramid, you know. It was like, I'm gonna stick to the main thing. And
this
then
is the
eventually,
formula.
yeah. And then eventually I ended up, someone gave me the idea. They were like, bro, why don't you get Gatorades? I was like, you know what? Maybe I should. I went to Costco. I got a couple packs of Gatorade. During lunch, I sold like 20. And then I was like, okay, cool. Then they told me, you can't do that. I was like, all right, whatever. Came back the next day.
Bought more.
You know. But I did learn my lesson with that because I remember one time I played baseball. So my junior year, I remember I didn't have a place to put my cooler. So I left it there with my stuff, you know. And it's not like anyone. It's not under watch. I just left it there with all the baseball team stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
After practice, 2 hours later, I come back. All the Gatorades are gone.
Oh, because they probably thought
the team was the one that I was like, what the fuck, you know?
They drank my money.
I was like, bro, that was like a good like $20 in there, you know. But that was, I was like, all right, you know what? No more Gatorades.
So I know you mentioned earlier about I always wanted the flashy things, right? What about that? Because that stood out to me because growing up, not having a lot, right? Being from a Latino family,
right?
We didn't have a lot, and flashy things for me were like far away.
Right. And same thing here. My parents, I mean, I'm first gen here. My parents came from Mexico back in the late 80s, early 90s, right? And they always taught me to be humble. And I try to be the best I can, right? It's just growing up with not a lot of money. I was always like, you know what? Like the flashy things like interest me. Like Ruben to this, like he remembers like, oh, I always talked about like the nice cars and you know Rolls Royces and Lamborghinis and you know cars that people don't really know and they don't really see. You know, the gold chains and the diamonds and the Rolexes and that always caught my attention. Because I guess you could say I didn't grow up with money, and it was all of a sudden I see like people wear that. I'm like, ooh, that looks sick.
Okay.
It looks nice.
So what was the conversation at home in terms of like education? Because I know you said your mom basically invested in you $30 and was saying like, I see my son has a quality, but what was the conversation about education?
Well, she always said, mijo, like go to school, like education is important. But at that point, I had a lot of influence, I guess you could say, from Instagram. I would follow like business people and all that, like those kind of people. And I would always hear constantly, you don't need a piece of paper to say that you're successful.
Definitely.
Now, who was saying that?
Business people.
Just social media?
Instagram?
Just social media. Yeah, social media. That's why social media, I believe it's very powerful because it can definitely influence someone's mind, especially when they're in their teenage years and they don't know what they want to do, right? It can either go in a positive way or negative way. But I remember, like for me, I think it's a positive thing because I remember a lot of people, like, they were just so excited to go to school. They were so excited to go to school, to go to university, this and that, and study for a degree, right? Get into all this debt.
Yes.
So that coming out, you're not guaranteed a position in whatever you studied.
Yes.
And I'm like, why would I go to school for business? That's what I wanted to go for. Business and then hospitality management. Because I had a plan that I wanted to do. But it's like, okay, I agree. School is important depending on the major that you do.
Okay.
For example, if you're if you want to be a doctor,
You gotta go to school.
Fuck yeah, go to school for 20 years, dude. Go learn how to operate on my heart. You know,
Someone's got to.
Someone has to.
Someone has to do that.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's like, you want to be a lawyer? Good, go. Keep me out of jail.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it's like, if you're going to school for business, you're going to school for liberal arts, English. Like, it's like, honestly, I think it's a waste of time.
I think there's a lot of people that would disagree, though, right?
I agree, because they're
Uh-huh.
probably in that field.
Yeah, and they would almost take it as like an insult, right?
Right. You
and
know,
do you mean it to be offensive, though?
I don't
or-
mean it to be offensive. If people get offensive, that's their problem, not mine.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think it's like, when you say that, is it like based on your personal experience, maybe culturally, where you're like, well, if you don't use it, it's a waste? Because, I mean, I'm hearing my dad, right? My very Mexican dad saying like, well, if you're not going to use it, what's the point? It's not making you money. What's the point?
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. I remember my dad, like, always told me, like, I want to do business.
Uh-huh.
And I never pinpointed what, but I was like, you know what? I want to be a businessman.
Okay.
It was always because, besides the flashy things, it was
Yeah.
like being independent.
Yeah.
Not having have to be like, hey, can I take a day off?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I want a day off, I have the liberty, because I'm my own boss, to go and take the day off if I want to.
So what was the conversation about, like, education or anything? Or, like, what did your parents think about the whole candy shop?
Well, they supported him. My parents have always been very supportive.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, they would always be like, oh, like, go to school, you know, agarra una beca, get a
Yeah.
scholarship, you know, so they always say, so we don't have to pay anything.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I feel it, you know.
You're like, that's fair.
I was like,
Mhm.
okay. But they also, when I would tell them, like, oh, like, going to school and learning something, getting into debt, either myself or you guys,
Mhm.
and coming out not knowing if I'm guaranteed a position in whatever I studied in,
Mhm.
you know, that's not going to make me what I want or
Mhm.
give me the lifestyle that I want. Honestly, I don't see the point of doing that.
Okay.
And my parents, I told them that, and they're like, you know what, mijo, like, whatever you do, we're very supportive of you. And I always told them, like, I want the nice cars. I want to have a business. They're like, we got you. You know, we'll support you.
Okay.
And they always have been. They always have been. They always push me to be better. They always push me to, like, you know, work hard.
Okay.
And I feel like that's kind of where I get my work ethic from. It has improved a lot over the few years, you
Mhm.
know.
Now, were there other people pushing you to go to school, or were there any other outside factors that, like, kind of, you know, influence you to take some decisions?
Right. I would say a lot were my teachers.
Okay.
They were like, oh, go to school, have a plan B.
Okay. Oh.
And
Were you telling the teachers, like, I'm not going to go to college or anything like that?
at first, yes. And eventually I was like, I was like, oh, like, I'll go to, like, because I started watching this show. It's called Power.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him be this guy. His name was Ghost. And he was a businessman, powerful dude. You know, he had money, nice home, nice cars. He had the lifestyle, right? And he owned a nightclub. And I was like, that's it. I want to be a nightclub owner.
Oh,
That's
my
it.
gosh.
It's-
I remember that.
it's
That
not-
was
it's
the
not-
dream for years.
It wasn't for the girls, bro. Like, I was like, bro, like, I started doing research in, like, Vegas. Like, people were putting in, like, 150 grand a night in Vegas.
Dang.
And I'm like, okay, but those were, like, I got to work my way up there. You know?
Okay.
But eventually I was like, you know what? I want to learn hospitality management, how to manage nightclubs and events and those kind of things.
Okay. So, did you have a plan after high school?
My plan was to go to college, University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Only college I applied to.
That's
Did you
it.
get in?
Yeah, no.
That's
You didn't get in?
No.
That's the one. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, the pressure.
I know, and I was like, shit. I was like, well, fuck, what do I do? And I was like, all right, let me go to community college out in Vegas.
Okay.
So I started looking at that, and I was about to apply, and then I just never did. I never did. I was like, damn. Like, I started doing more research. I was like, that's a lot of money. Like, 150 grand a year to like making as a nightclub manager. You have to work your way up to be a manager. Then after that, like save money so you can, you know, get a loan from the bank and get your own spa, your own like lease a building.
Okay.
You know, hire employees, do all this, do all that. I was like, dude, like it's gonna take a long time, and I started getting discouraged.
Yeah.
Discouraged, and I feel like that's what happens a lot when it comes to like people that have these big goals and big dreams, that it's like they think so big, which is great.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But you also got to put some action behind it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to stay grounded a little bit and be like, okay, let me do one step that'll get me closer to that goal. You know, I'm always very supportive of big goals and big dreams. Whatever you want, I believe anybody can accomplish it. As long as you're backing it up and not just saying things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel like once like the previous 4 years to what I'm doing now,
Yes.
really made me realize that, because I would talk all this talk,
Okay.
but I wouldn't put in the work for it.
Oh.
You know, and I was like, I eventually realized that, and I was like, damn, you know,
Okay.
it was tough.
What do you think the talk that you were talking that you weren't exactly walking? Like,
Well, I was like, oh, you know, we're out here, like I'm a businessman, you know, wearing
Okay.
suits, posting suits on Instagram, and it was like, I wasn't making all the money that I would want,
Yeah.
you know, and I was like, damn, like I'm out here like basically bullshitting all these people, you know, they perceive me as this, oh, like he does finances. In reality, I was like, damn, like I was afraid of like them actually seeing me what I was really doing. You know, I would get easily distracted, you know, whether it was with, you know, XYZ thing that I would get distracted with, and I wouldn't really put in the work that was required for me to succeed in the line of work that I was in.
Okay. So now, I don't know this part of the story. What happened with junior college, or?
I just never went. I never went. I remember coming out of high school, I was working. So my first job was my junior year, worked at AMC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I worked there for about 6 months. I got fired.
Why'd you get fired?
Because I didn't want to work during the Star Wars movie that came out.
Oh.
And I was
said
like,
not those lines.
I was like, nah. I was like, so I put in my 2 weeks. And on my last day, I left early from my shift. And I still had 3 days left, technically, that they could be like, hey, like, they could call me in to work. And they were like, oh, I know you put in your 2 weeks, but basically, like, we're going to fire you. I was like, all right, whatever. And literally the day after they fired me, I still showed up and watched the movie for free.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
my
they hated
God.
me. Like, the managers, they were like, we can't believe you. Why would you do that? I was like, dude, I'm in high school. Chill.
Tell
It's
me you
AMC.
wouldn't.
It's
Yeah.
$9
Oh
an hour, bro. It's not a lot. You know?
Dang, I remember. Yeah, we were not making much.
And,
And
yeah. I know minimum wage back then was $9.
dude,
Back in
I was
2015.
making $8.70, I think, when I was working at where was it at? Lucky's supermarket.
Bro, I remember you.
That's a bag boy.
forgot to.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that shit.
I was making like $8 and like something
Dang.
cents.
Okay,
It was
so
terrible.
So junior college wasn't a thing.
It wasn't a thing because I applied to Chipotle
Okay.
May of 2016,
Okay.
the month before we graduated. I was working at Chipotle. Then I started working at a kids camp with Ruben.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was right here on St. Lawrence, the elementary school. We worked there. I got fired from there because I was playing Pokemon Go.
Oh, Pokemon Go had just come out.
And I was out here trying to catch these Squirtles or whatever.
Squirtles and like Bulbasaurs. And
I was always a Bulbasaur, but I was like, bro,
Charizard.
I want a good one.
it was crazy because that game we were anticipating it all week. We're like 2 weeks straight. Like
Oh my God.
all like the managers were talking about it. And like all of the staff were just like really, really into this idea. Like, okay, after work, we're going to go to the park and we're going to like,
You play Pokemon.
we're going to play Pokemon Go. So the day it came out, we all downloaded the game and then we headed over to Central Park. Remember that? It was
Oh my god.
packed. When I tell you it
yeah.
was packed, like it was like art and wine festival.
Yeah.
Packed.
It was
Man.
crazy.
And
I
it
mean-
wasn't kids. It was
I was like adults.
grown ass
Yeah.
like adults, like 30, 40, 50-year-old people just there.
Yeah.
It was like, excuse me, don't touch me. Excuse me, don't touch me.
Yeah.
But let's catch them all. Like,
But like, let's catch
Yeah.
them all. Oh, I remember someone said, it's this. He like yelled. Some dude like far away yelled like, it's this Pokemon. Everyone hurtled. Like
Yeah.
just ran
They just
towards
ran.
it.
I was like,
stop.
what?
It was crazy.
Okay.
Oh, well, so question. So like, you were doing the candy business, right?
Right.
So, if I remember, you were saying you were like, you did like junior and senior year.
My junior and senior year.
You sold candy.
Yeah.
So after that, what was the next thing for you? Because you said you wanted to do business. So that was like your first taste
Right.
of business.
And I liked it.
Mhm.
And so what did you think was next for you?
I just wanted to work my way up to having my own business.
What
Mhm.
what kind of business though?
Well, I wanted to own a nightclub.
That was
That was
because
my
of the
thing.
show.
I wanted to own a nightclub. And so, going back to like where I used to work, Stephen Cates camp, got fired. Right. Worked at Chipotle. Then after that, I started working as a valet attendant at
Mhm.
Campbell. So I ended up quitting Chipotle,
Mhm.
right, and just doing valet. And once I was doing valet,
Mhm.
someone called me from an office that had just opened up here in Santa Clara,
Mhm.
saying, "Oh, hey, like your friend Stephanie, she actually recommended you, said that you would be a good fit for us.
Mhm.
Are you open to other income opportunities to make more money?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude! Like whatever, like makes more money, you
Mhm.
know." And so I went, did an interview with my friend Alejandro. We're still good friends to this day. And
Where's this at?
Santa Clara.
No, the company. What job was this?
Oh, WFG, World Financial Group. And I had heard of Transamerica before.
And so they're
it's-
affiliated with Transamerica.
Yeah, they're the sister company
Mhm.
and very recognizable. You know why? Dude, they have their own building in San Francisco,
Mm.
Yeah.
right? So it's like that tall, pointy building. Yeah, I used to work with them.
Mhm.
You know?
not at the not
Not at the Transamerica building, but with Transamerica, the company.
now. I remember people did talk a lot about WFG as being
Oh, people
like
always do.
a big like scam.
Yeah, it's because they don't understand.
So-
so when you heard scam, what would they say?
They would all talk about pyramid schemes, right?
Okay.
Everyone would say like it's a pyramid scheme. Don't do it.
I,
I mean,
don't
is-
even know what it is.
Isn't everything a pyramid scheme nowadays?
Oh,
I mean,
True.
let me ask you.
mm.
You're a teacher, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's above a teacher?
Admin.
Admin.
Yeah.
Who's above admin?
Members from the district.
Member from the district.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm guessing principal, then superintendent, and then
Yeah.
so forth and so forth.
So forth.
Do you make the same as the superintendent
No.
Like financially, do it
financially?
No,
No.
obviously not. Yeah.
Right.
But I can tell you, I feel like I can't say much, right? But there's certain members in our district who have manager or who have more of like those higher positions,
Right.
and yet they're still getting paid maybe like a teacher,
Right.
which I don't think is right? Because you
Right.
assume you go higher with your years of expertise and hard work and
Right.
dedication. You should be paid
Right.
more.
You would hope
I,
so.
I agree.
Yeah.
You would hope so.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like the corporate ladder, it's the same idea, and especially in corporate America, you
Mhm.
have the employees.
Mm-hmm.
Employees are the ones doing most of the work.
Mhm.
They're busting their ass 10, 12 hours a day,
Mm-hmm.
9 to 5. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Monday through Friday, doing all the work. Right. They get paid the least.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the supervisors.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They get paid a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Less people in that position. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the managers. Then you have the general managers,
Mhm.
right? Then you have the board directors, the presidents, the VP, and then
Yeah.
eventually you have the CEO at the top of
Yeah.
the company, who makes the millions of dollars
Yeah.
and does the least amount of work
Yeah.
compared to all the employees
Everyone
at
under.
the
Yeah,
bottom.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like people say, "Oh, it's a pyramid scheme," but yeah, but so is mostly everybody's job nowadays.
Yeah.
You have to climb, right, in order to get to that top position.
Yeah.
in corporate America, it's very rare when an employee gets to that top position.
Okay.
Now, where I used to work out in WFG, it was you start off at the bottom,
Okay.
right? Just like any other place, and you work your way up, and there is no restrictions to get to that top position.
Okay.
They train you and
And
develop
what's
you.
the top position?
CEO of your own insurance agency, your own
Wow.
financial agency. Think of it like you're working at Farmers,
Okay.
right? You know what you're doing. You're doing a lot of good things. You get promoted to a broker, meaning that now you have a title and a license that says, you know what, I can go and open up my own agency. And you open up your own
Like Farmers Insurance.
Farmers insurance within Farmers Insurance.
So it's you.
You're franchising.
You're
basically.
franchising it.
Basically.
You own your own site.
Exactly.
There you
So
go.
you were gonna. So you guys are banking on the opportunity of creating your own franchise.
It's not banking. We genuinely teach people.
Now, do you know anyone who's really done it? Like, that's your equal in that. In like, you're just employees.
Trying to think of people like friends of mine. No,
Like, yeah. So anyone.
like someone that started off at the same time as I did. Yes,
So who? So like, how many do you think did that?
not a lot of people because being self-employed and have your own business isn't cut out for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You know? And I feel like when you're self-employed and you have your own business, you have to earn and have very tough skin,
Oh, yeah.
especially in the sales business.
Okay.
Because in a sales business, you have to take rejection.
Uh-huh.
You have to take people telling you no. And if someone doesn't have the self-confidence to walk up to someone and be like, hey, you know, and they're like, dude, get the fuck out of my face. And if they don't have like the tough skin for that or the
Yeah.
self-confidence,
Thick
they immediately like, fuck, I can't do this.
Mm.
That's why a
Okay.
lot of people quit.
Did you? And
before-
you never felt like that.
I did.
Oh,
I was like, dude, I don't think I'm coming out for this shit. I don't think I'm cut out for sales, you know, this and that. I can't take rejection, you know. But just consistency and keep doing it, I feel like it helped me a lot,
yeah. Yeah.
you know. And that's why I say, like, business isn't cut out for everyone. Everyone says they can do it, but not everyone can.
Okay.
So after you were leaving or are you still at WFG?
No. I don't. My license is not active.
So
Okay.
have you cut ties entirely with them?
Not entirely. I still keep in touch with everyone there. My broker.
But as far as like working.
Working there, no. I do not submit business with WFG anymore.
And
Uh,
why is that? Like, what happened? What was the turning point for you?
COVID.
COVID.
happened.
Oh.
COVID happened. I remember Trump was like, "Oh, everyone, in what was it, shelter?
Shelter in place.
Oh,
Shelter in place, yeah."
Yeah.
The lockdown.
And we couldn't go to the office. We did everything through Zoom, you know. And after that, I was just like, I don't know, I want to try something different, right? And so my dad was like, "Hey, mijo, why don't you do like DoorDash at least to get you back on, your feet, you know?"
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that's hiring right now. It's not even hiring, but that's the only thing you can actually do to make money.
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck it, bro! Like, I'll do it." And I started doing DoorDash back in April of 2020, and I've been doing DoorDash and Uber Eats ever since. I did Amazon Flex a little bit here and there, but for sure, DoorDash and Uber Eats, I still do that to this day. I've been doing that for about 2 years now, over 2 years.
So going from, you said you were going to the office every day, right?
Right.
But you were feeling like you were just distracted.
Distracted because it's at least for me, it's not that it was hard, it's just that I was like,
It was easy to give up.
I guess you could say that, because it was like you got to stay on and making phone calls all the time,
Cold calling all day
cold
long.
calling, not even cold calling sometimes. Majority of it was like people that you met, right? People that referred you other people, right? But it's a process. Like, okay, you make the phone call, you set up an appointment, all right? Out of 10 appointments that you set up, 6 confirmed the next day. Out of those 6 that confirm, 3 maybe show up. Out of those 3, maybe 1 gets on board with you as a business partner or becomes a client. You know, and doing that consistently, but it doesn't always happen that way. It's not a perfect world, you know? And it's like, a lot of that, and setting up appointments, and doing interviews and this and that, and eventually potentially having a client, potentially not, is like it's tiring. It's tiring, especially when you don't do everything in such a short period amount of time, and it prolongs the process that it's supposed to take.
Okay.
Having success in sales should be easy.
Mm.
You think so?
I think it should.
Okay.
Why is that?
Because people don't come into an office, or people don't go into a car lot unless they already know that they want to buy something.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is provide them with what they want to buy.
Okay.
So
I'm sorry, finish
No,
your thought.
go ahead.
No, I was just wondering and curious because you said like COVID, right? 2020 happened and all businesses everywhere stopped.
Right.
Now it's 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So what took us from being active to deciding, you know what, I'm going to stay inactive. I'm going to take this different route. I'm going to go into DoorDash.
I guess you could say I was just like tired of making all the phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
I was tired of putting in some work and not seeing results, but that's my own fault.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't put in the work consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And I show face that was my fault.
Mm-hmm.
I would put in work on one day, and then the next day, like, I'd come in late.
Mm-hmm.
Next day I wouldn't make as many phone calls as the previous day.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day I would be like, oh fuck, yesterday was a bust, today I guess too.
Okay.
I wouldn't make as many phone calls, I wouldn't talk to as many people,
Yeah.
I wouldn't make as many appointments. And I guess because of that, I didn't see success like the way I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, fuck it, I'm just gonna do something else.
Okay, so then like earlier we were talking about like you were this businessman in high school, right? You had this attitude, you carried that throughout. Now, because of COVID and everything, how's that businessman attitude come to fruition now in DoorDash?
I feel like what I did learn about the last 2 years is more the consistency
Mm-hmm.
and increasing my work ethic.
Okay.
Because when I work and I get down to the wire, like, I'm pretty effective. At least I think I am. I'm very effective. And I feel like the last 2 years, I'm like, okay, I'm not a businessman because DoorDash and Uber Eats isn't my business,
Mm-hmm.
but I am self-employed. I
Mhm.
am on a 1099.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, the income that I make
Mm-hmm.
is literally based off my work ethic, how
Mm.
self-employed and business should be, right? So I was like, okay, if I make $10,000 this next year, it's
Mhm.
because I was fucking lazy and I wasn't putting in the work like I was supposed to, right? If I make this certain amount of money, it's because
Because you work your ass off.
exactly,
Mhm.
and I feel like, I'm doing all right for myself.
Mm-hmm. So it was like the personal satisfaction of like my work shows that it's paid off rather than just sitting around waiting for someone to tell me yes. I'd
Right.
say yes to me.
Right, exactly.
Well, I have a
Yeah.
question. So, what I think is interesting about the whole DoorDash thing is, right, you take an order or you take a job, right? You claim a job, you get paid for it, right? So, you're paid for the amount of jobs you do, correct? I think I think anyone can fall in love, honestly, with the idea of the more jobs you get, the more money you make.
Oh, absolutely.
And it sucks for someone who's just in a regular job. It's like you
Yes.
clock in your 40 hours, right?
yes,
But you're capped.
Exactly.
You're capped. And
and
then that's it. That's all you make. If you get a salary, you can work your ass off. You could be sweating or you could do nothing and be
Right.
lazy, but you're capped. You're always capped.
And I feel like that's why a lot of people don't understand. Like, it's not that they don't understand, but they don't see the bigger picture of it. Like, the way we would always talk about in WFG is like, okay, for example, let's say you're a UPS driver, right? And as a UPS driver, you're getting paid, let's say hypothetically, $30 an hour,
Yeah.
right? But you have to deliver 300 packages that day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say $30 an hour times 8 hours, that's $240.
Mm-hmm.
Minus the taxes, minus everything. But let's say you got paid per delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's say it was, I don't know,
$5 a delivery.
$5 a delivery. That's $1,500 that you made on your own pen, your own business. Okay, without taxes being deducted from that or Social Security. It's like, I mean, what would you rather choose? And a lot of people, they're like, oh no, but like, I like the stability. I like the what's that word?
Peace of mind.
Not peace of mind. I like certainty. It's another word for certainty.
Yeah.
But it's like well, basically they're saying is like, oh, like it's guaranteed. I
There
like
you
that
go.
guarantee.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like
I know that no matter what, at the end of the day, in 2
I-
weeks, I'm going to get this exact amount of money.
Okay.
Exactly. And having your own business, you're unaware whether some circumstances maybe a lot of people didn't order or a lot of people didn't do this or
Yeah, yeah.
XYZ. It's
Yeah.
like at the end of 2 weeks, you could have a really good day and then the next 3 days could be really bad. And people don't like that.
Now, I find that interesting, right? Because I'm thinking of like the stigma, because some people will say that, you know what, if you're working Uber Eats, DoorDash, they feel like there is no guarantee.
Right.
Right.
There is if you work.
So are there some like secrets we don't know about? Is
It's
there
some
like a
what?
code that we can have or something?
Secrets. What are the secrets of DoorDash? Have you found any, or like have
Yeah.
you found any loopholes on how to make more money? What are the tricks of the trade?
You just gotta work, bro. Honestly,
Okay.
that's really.
But what does
it
that
is.
mean though? Like, what does that mean? Like, you gotta like just take more orders?
You gotta take more orders. You have to be smart about the orders that you're taking, and it's kind of hard. You have to be smart choosing which orders to take, because you can decline orders if they're too small. And trust me, there are a lot of small ones. You
But
know,
are they worth taking?
no, absolutely not. $3
Mm-hmm.
$3 for what?
30 minutes every time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, definitely not worth it.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
You know, and it's like you got to be smart while at the same time driving at the same time, because you're driving around. You're not parked at one place,
Mm.
especially when you're doing both apps.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Boom, a DoorDash one hits. Okay, you deliver it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Or while you're delivering that one, a Uber Eats one hits. All
Okay.
right. Now after you deliver that one, you got to go to that one, and then boom, 2 DoorDash ones hit. You got to go pick up those 2 and then drop off the Uber Eats one and then go deliver the other ones.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
it's like it gets hectic, especially during lunch and dinner times.
Okay.
So I know that like me and you keep in contact a lot,
Right.
right? We talk on like a weekly basis,
Right.
especially on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that a lot of the times when we're taking phone calls, you're working,
Right.
You're doing these. How do you think is it easy to multitask? Because if you're saying you're doing both apps and you're able to stay fully committed and like, you know, you're fully aware of this conversation we're having, you're thinking about what you're saying,
Right.
you're giving me good answers, you're not just half-assing these conversations.
Right.
Is it hard to do that?
Not really. I guess I could say I've developed that skill through WFG of multitasking.
Mm.
Mhm.
And I'm not the best at it, but I keep working at it.
Okay.
You know, you got both apps, talk on the phone. I gotta check maps because I'm delivering an order right now.
Mhm.
I gotta pay attention to
The road.
the road I'm driving.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like so many things going on, but I feel like it's a skill you have to develop in order to be effective.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now bringing it back, right? Mr. Flashy, Mr. Business, right? So you can ballpark, right?
Right.
What is the stability of this job? Like, could you earn a living? Can you sustain yourself?
I think you can. I believe you can 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, last year, 1099.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pay any taxes.
Mm-hmm.
IRS hearing this right now.
They're like
That
knocking
just
on the
jumps in
door.
chat right now.
You know, I'm not tripping about how
Now,
much.
is that legally you did that?
Yeah, I had a tax person, an accountant that
Mhm.
deducted my expenses.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's
perks of
maintenance on the car. Eating.
perks of working on as a self-employed or as a business owner on a 1099. You have tax
Benefits.
benefits.
Okay.
Right. You can exempt certain things.
Yeah.
You can deduct
Mhm.
certain things. For example, your car payment, your phone bill. Did
Uh-huh.
you eat out? Okay, all that. Your gas, your insurance.
Mhm.
Whatever you use for your business
Yeah.
or whatever you're doing, you can deduct that from your taxes.
Oh wow.
You know, so I didn't pay any taxes last year.
Okay.
I made 75,000.
Oh.
I paid zero in
snap.
taxes. So all of that was net.
Okay.
You know,
Oh.
and I still got money back on my taxes.
Now, do you
love
think
that?
now? I think it's funny to say, but it's really not, because like people have this stigma that like, oh, if you do DoorDash or Uber Eats, that, like you're like lower class, right? So do you take offense to that?
No,
Has anyone ever said anything like that to you?
no. I think at first I was like, damn, like
I stooped this level, kind of.
not
thing.
and not stupid, but I was like, damn, like I'm going in to a restaurant. I'm here to pick up DoorDash, and it's like I had people look around, like look at me, and at first it was like, damn, like it's kind of embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, why would it be embarrassing?
Yeah.
Why would I care about other people's opinions?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You're there to. You're making money.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm making the money that I'm making, you know, and
Mhm.
you're making what you're making. I'm not talking shit about what you're doing,
Yeah.
whether you're making less or more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, why would I care about other people's opinions?
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever they say, and I honestly don't really care.
Okay.
I walk someplace like, and I feel like my self confidence the last 2 years since COVID happened,
Mm-hmm.
it has really developed and gotten a lot stronger
Mm-hmm.
than it was before.
Mm-hmm.
I'll walk into some place, I could give a shit what anybody says. Oh, bro, you do DoorDash? Yeah, so
Yeah.
money's money, bro.
Mhm.
Like
money.
we live in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
You know, having one job paying $20 an hour
Ain't
cut-
it?
ain't cutting
Ain't
it.
Ain't it?
Bro, you gotta hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's life out here, bro.
Yeah.
Especially with the way things are going, the expenses, you know, housing.
Yeah.
Like you gotta keep going. You gotta keep working. You gotta find other side things. And I met fucking engineers in like Mountain View and Palo Alto. Oh, what's up? You do DoorDash too? Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool,
I know
man.
a lot of engineers. I've met a lot of, and work with them, and they're also doing that on the side.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, because like you just don't know who. You just see someone going in there, right? You
Yeah.
have no idea how much that person makes or
Yeah.
how little they make. Like
Yeah.
that's just, they could just be like, you don't know what they're going through. Maybe their wife just died. Something
Yeah.
like that. I
Gotta
can't be
pay
home.
the bills.
I can't be
Exactly.
home. I got to pay the bills, and they're like, it doesn't matter. There's a mental battle either going through their head, or they're just like, they just enjoy driving so much. They're like, let's make some money while we're
Yeah,
doing
and
this.
bro, like I've met so many people. Like it's like if they want to, they would do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I met some people that are like, yeah, man, I don't go home until I make 500 a day. I'm like,
Damn.
500 a day.
Now,
bro.
is that hard to do?
Yes, because it's me working 10 hours, 12 hours.
Yeah.
I'm pulling about 250 to 300 a day.
Really?
Okay.
Right.
Someone pulling.
Which is about 25 to 30 hours. Now, 500 a day, you're working good 15 hours. You're doing DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, Postmates, everything combined, whatever fucking comes out, you're doing all that
Yeah.
Mhm.
together, 15 hours a day. That's what he told me. He's like,
That's
bro, I work
crazy.
15 hours a day. And I'm like, that's cool. You know?
Not for me, but cool.
No. It's not that it's not for me, you know. But if I had the opportunity to eventually, like, you know what, this will be my own business, cool. But it's like, bro, you have no life, and you're not gonna be the owner of your own like delivery company.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't work my ass off for that.
Okay. I see.
So
Yeah.
there's limits to this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So like there are cutoffs. So you're saying like you gotta hustle, but there does come a point where you're like, you're able to like
you gotta
draw
have a
the
life.
line.
You gotta
Yeah.
have a life.
You have you do you think you have a work and life balance, like settled down, like pretty good?
I do my best.
Mm.
Mhm.
You know, I work when I need to work.
Mhm.
Right.
What are your usual work hours? Do you clock in and clock out?
You don't clock in, clock out. That's the benefit of being self-employed.
Mhm.
You don't have a boss. You don't have hourly schedule. And I feel like being self-employed, you have to be very, very disciplined
Mhm.
and have a pretty good work ethic if you actually want to make money.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So my hours, I start from about 10-ish,
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Mhm.
and about 8 o'clock at night.
Mhm.
You know, on the days like a weekend, like Friday and Saturday, that's like crazy busy, I try to go a little earlier and I try to end a little later.
Mhm.
9 to 9, 12 hours, pull about 300 a day.
Mhm.
Okay.
You know, on an average day, 250.
Okay.
You know, and I try to balance my work and at the same time my personal life.
Yeah.
Whether it's spending time with my girlfriend or spending time with my family, you know, going out to dinner, going out to the movies, date night, you know, I think it's good because if you're like, you know what, I got to finish a little early because we're going to date night at this one spot like at 7.
Yeah.
I don't have to ask someone, hey, boss, can I leave early today? It's date night with my girl. Like, no,
That's
bro.
true.
Like, I can
You
clock
end
out.
when you end.
Exactly. I end when I want to.
So now, how long do you see yourself doing this for?
Not very long.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, I mean, we always talk about it. I'm always looking for something, you know, better. You know, trying to develop a new skill.
Quote unquote stable.
I guess you could say stable. I mean, a stepping stone to something that I want to do. You know, whether it's own a business, you know, or invest into other things like whether it's real estate or crypto or you know, stocks. You know, but use that as a stepping stone to something better.
Okay.
Would you say compared to WFG, you've been very successful in this?
I've been all right.
Uh-huh.
You know, but I have learned and I have had to develop more of a harder work ethic and actually being consistent and putting in the work. And I feel like with what I know now, if I did it in WFG now, I think I would have more success.
Okay.
Do you at all think that, like, when you were at WFG, selling life insurance, stuff like that, and then this is like you, like how we were talking about, you see that per job you get money just grows and grows per job, right?
And WFG is the exact same thing.
It does the exact same thing, but do you think at all your work ethic and why you would slack off so much at WFG is because you're like the work wasn't actually enticing to you?
I guess you could say that too. And it's not really the life insurance aspect of it. It's the developing people aspect of it. Because you can have your own life insurance.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, you can sell life insurance, right? But you're going to be a salesman your whole life. What I bought into WFG and what my mentor, his name's John, what he would tell me is like build an agency.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're selling life insurance and you don't have people behind you working and selling life insurance like with you, you're on your own. You got to go and sell life insurance on your own. And you have to do that. Like, if you don't sell life insurance 1 month, you know, or a year, it's like you made no money that year. Right?
So is that commission based only?
Commission based only, no hourly. You know?
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Was that hard for you?
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
You know? But I feel like that's why they would always push on, at least John would, and the hierarchy and the team that I was in, they would always push, don't be an insurance agent. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But push to build an agency. Have your own farmer's insurance. Have your own offices all across the U.S. that you have agents basically working for you.
Yeah.
Right? But those agents are also building so they can have their own agency too. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It almost, I can see when you're explaining this, I could understand why people think it is a pyramid scheme.
Oh, 100%.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense, but it's like,
But it's like,
I freelance and I do videography, right?
right.
And I just hired someone to help me for a job in like 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
Like, is that a pyramid scheme then? Right? Because like I hired someone. I hope that he does his own things, that he'll hire me maybe one day, right?
Yeah.
To help on his sets or his shoots.
Right.
It's kind of like the same thing, right? It's like I'm the head guy, and then I hire people, and then it just trickles down.
But people don't like to see it that way. They also say, "Oh,
that's
it's
interesting."
It's a pyramid scheme. It's a scam." Okay, why do you think it's a scam? Oh, it's because I paid money to get into it and this and that. All right, bro. Like, back up a bit. All right, dog. Look, you have to get affiliated with a company. It's $100, right? Do you think you can sell life insurance without getting a license? No. Would you trust a doctor if they didn't have a license or a degree that says, "Hey, I'm certified to do cardio something surgery"? Would you trust someone that doesn't have it?
Yeah.
No.
That's
Okay.
true.
100%. I agree with you. Now you have to go study, take a test about the life insurance business, okay, the financial business, right? You pass that test, you come back, okay, cool. Now you got to sign up, you got to get a background check.
Yeah.
You think background checks are free? Nah, bro.
No.
They're $300. You got to get your fingerprints done. You got to sign up with the companies. Okay.
And you have to do that all out of your own pocket.
Yes.
So it's almost like real estate.
It's like real estate. It's like starting a business.
So
You put
it's
money
it's
in.
the exact same thing
Yeah.
of real estate, just
100%.
life insurance. So because of the fact that no one understands
life insurance.
this as to the level of like real
Real
estate,
estate,
they
don't
just think poorly of it.
exactly.
But it's like if you were talking about a real agent or a broker, like they want to open their own firm one
you
day.
gotta
Yeah.
put money into
You got to
it.
put because that comes up.
And you know
marketing,
what's interesting?
all that stuff.
That happens in education too.
What's that?
Like, you want to be a teacher, you got to put money into a degree. On top of that,
Credentials.
you got to put money into a credential
Yeah.
in order to teach, in order to do that job.
Yeah.
But because WFG and selling life insurance and being self-employed, right? You're on a 1099. You're not getting paid hourly. They're like, well, fuck, I didn't make any money, but I put all this money into it. It's like, all right, bro, you got to give it some time. Did you work? Did you get any clients? Did you make any calls? Did you set up any appointments, right? Did you do the appointments? Did you close anybody? And it's like, well, shit, I didn't do any of that stuff. Well, no fucking way you're not going to make any money.
Mm.
You know?
That's literally the same thing about real estate. Like
And
you go months without making money.
Yes, and I feel like it really does like piss me off because people talk so much shit about life insurance and WFG and you know companies that are genuinely out there helping people, and it's like all of a sudden you hear someone say, "Oh, I do life insurance." Oh, no, I gotta get away from it. It's like, bro, like you don't understand how life insurance works,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? A lot of people think life insurance is like, oh, when I pass away, you know, I don't even get to touch that money. I'm like, bro, stop thinking about you. Stop being so selfish.
Mhm.
You have a family, you have kids, you have a wife.
Mm.
If you pass away, who's gonna take care of them?
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
us in the Latino community, we call him
Yeah.
Sancho.
Yeah.
You know, wait until she gets another man.
Yeah.
And
Don't worry,
actually
the
takes care-
Sancho's gonna take care of them. Don't worry.
It's like,
when
why
I
would-
pass away, you got your
See,
Sancho's.
why we got
Oh my
to
God.
think like that? You know, it's like, do you care for your family?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, if you did, you'd have life insurance.
Yeah.
You know, that's just me, and like me as well, because I thought the same thing when we were talking about this.
Right.
But you also came into this very, very early on when we were
so
young.
young.
We were so young, so I even was as ignorant. Like you explain this to me right now, you never explained this to me at like that back in the day.
Ah.
So how was I able to like understand also at the
True.
same time?
And-
But that doesn't excuse my ignorance as
Right,
well, right?
right. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like you gotta. It's built for different people that have a different mindset.
Correct.
Mm.
You know, I feel like now, whether it's like you guys starting a family, whether it's me starting a family, it's like eventually you're like, you come last, bro. You know who comes first? Your kids,
Yeah.
Yeah.
your wife, the
Yeah.
household. If I pass away, are my kids gonna be okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is my girl gonna be okay?
Yeah.
You know, am I gonna leave something back for them?
Uh-huh.
You know, it's like what people leave back nowadays is debt, college debt, car debt, mortgage, and it's like, no, bro, you gotta leave back a legacy.
Yes.
You gotta leave something where it can pay for all those things if you pass
Okay.
away, and some.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of people
definitely.
don't see it that way, and and I feel like a lot of people have a misconception that life insurance is just that. Like,
Mhm.
no, what we would teach people is life insurance is actually an investment, because what we would teach people is cash value life insurance.
Okay.
And it's like, what's that?
Because you can cash it out early.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tax free.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't know that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's like,
Have you taken advantage of that yet?
oh yeah, I have account set up. My
Mhm.
family has accounts.
And
set
you've
up.
taken money out of it.
No. Why would I touch it? That's a lot of people. That's what a lot of people think. They're like, how fast can I access this money? I'm like, why are you thinking it like that? You don't think about that. You don't think about it like that with your 401k. Why would you
Mhm.
think about it with your own personal investment?
True.
You know, you gotta let it grow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, these accounts, they have 0% floor, meaning if the market crashes, you don't lose any money,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't know about now, but when I was working there, you would have a cap of 15%,
Mm-hmm.
right? 15% is a lot of money, right? You put your money in a savings account, you're getting 0.01 every year,
Mm-hmm.
which is cents to the dollar, if that,
Yeah.
right? In these accounts, you're getting 15%.
That's
If you-
crazy.
Yeah, if you have $100 in there, $15 doesn't seem a lot, but you let that shit compound over years.
We got 100, but you throw 100
You
grand in there.
throw 100 grand, you throw $1 million. We've had people that are like, you know what? I just took out some equity on my house. Let's just pull it onto these accounts. Boom. The next year, they already had like over half of what they already like put into the
Dang.
account. And it's like people that have money, they know about these kind of things.
Mm.
But us, you know, it's like it was our responsibility
to find
to
that
teach
information.
these people.
Yeah.
To
Yes.
teach these people.
Yes.
And when we would
Maybe
teach-
have you ever thought about maybe the execution, how you guys were doing that was not coming across the way you should have? Because like someone like me, right? You never sold it on me like that. So how I didn't understand that. That doesn't
Right.
excuse my ignorance.
Right.
But at the same time, it was never explained to me like this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it was just the people that I was choosing to talk to and show this to were the wrong people.
Definitely.
I would go towards
including
the
me.
young, yeah. I was going towards the young people,
Yeah.
Mhm.
18 to 22-year-olds. I mean, once in a blue moon, you would find someone like, oh, you know what, this is actually interesting, you know. But 90% of those people were like, well, bro, I'm 18, I don't need life insurance, you know. But
Yeah.
you talk to people that are older, have kids, have a home, have a good stable job. You talk to them about life insurance, they're like,
Yeah,
Do
this makes
it.
sense.
you know what, I need. It sounds like I need that actually.
You
Yeah.
know, it's funny because like my parents have talked about this a little bit more too, and you know, it's like because he could die any second. My dad works. I mean, you know,
I
how
know.
much my dad
I know.
works. You know, like any second, poor dude could just die,
Yeah,
and then what?
exactly.
If it wasn't for all the real estate he invested in, you know, probably be some big dude.
Yeah, and if it's like we try to get to the young people because the young people are normally the healthiest,
yeah.
Mm.
you know, and life insurance.
And if you
not
start
every-
now,
Mhm.
It'll
the
just
older
grow.
you are,
the worse it is.
exactly, you know,
Mm.
higher rates because your health isn't the best.
Yeah.
You know, if I applied for life insurance now, I probably wouldn't get it like when I applied it when I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
You know,
Okay.
and I feel like that's
And you're still putting into this
yes,
every month,
every month.
every week, or just as a
Every
monthly
month.
thing. It's a monthly thing.
You can choose. It can be a month.
It's up to you.
It's
So
up
you
to
just deposit.
yeah. You could if you're like have 200 grand to put into this life insurance account, bro.
Throw
Go
it in
ahead.
there.
Go ahead. You know, and I feel that's the thing about cash value life insurance, right? You let it grow over time. You let the market do its thing, the interest rates, all that stuff. After 10, 15, 20 years, you start noticing it compound.
Yeah.
That's where the rule of 72 kicks in and it starts compounding. The first 10 years, it's not going to show a lot of money.
Mhm.
The next 10 years, a lot more money.
Mhm.
The next 10 years after that, bro, way more money than what you would have ever thought you would have made,
Definitely.
you know? And a lot of people don't see life insurance as an investment,
Mm.
but little do they know.
It feels like, for me, I can understand how it is an investment just because I'm now in the mindset of like I want real estate, right?
Right.
And I want to invest in this. But that's something that's I can obtain it today. I will see results tomorrow, and that's something I can't. So is where like my hesitation lies,
That right. No, and I agree. You know, it's like we always want something that's tangible.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, can I take it out? You know? And it's like life insurance isn't like that, which is why a lot of people see like they give it like a certain stigma towards it of like, damn, like life insurance, like I'll never see that money.
Mm.
You know? But it's
Yeah,
like,
I can understand that.
yeah, you know, and it's like, but you got to choose the right plan
Mhm.
for what you want. For
Okay.
example, a lot of people don't know Disneyland was actually funded through Walt Disney's insurance policy. He took money out of his life insurance, used it to build Disneyland. Right?
Oh wow.
And a lot of people know that. Like, we tell them this, like, I don't know, bro. I'm worried about saving $50 a month. Like, bro.
Bro, that's like
If
you
you're,
spend
if
that
you're
like
worried
on
about
shoes.
saving $50 a month, I think we have bigger issues than you saving
Then
into
Yeah,
that.
life
yeah.
insurance.
We need to
Shoot.
reevaluate.
Hey, I
like,
think we
Okay.
need to reevaluate your financial plan here, bro.
The whole
Like,
the whole shebang.
I think working at Target is not doing the best thing right now, bro.
Yeah.
You know, you're 30.
Okay. So then hearing, your journey, your story, would you do this process all over again? Is there anything that you would change?
What, WFG?
Just in general,
In
like going from
general.
the start, like, starting from the county business, right? So, because it all stemmed from there,
Yeah.
right? This was that was your first like business venture, and it kind of just like gave you a taste of everything.
Right.
So, if you could go back then, would you redo anything?
Yes.
Okay.
The work ethic, the consistency, the mindset.
Okay.
You know, like I said, the last 2 years I've developed like a different mindset of
But you wouldn't go to school.
I wouldn't go to school.
Still, no.
Okay.
No.
You feel confident in
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I wouldn't go to school. I think school's pointless the majority of the time.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
I know you went to school. I know you went to school.
She's still going to school. She's getting her
I
master's
still
right
go
now.
to
You know, no. There's certain things. That I'm
Certain
like, you know
degrees.
What? I'm like, you know what? You want to be a lawyer? Good. Keep me out of jail. Right.
Right.
You want to be a doctor? Cool. Save my life. You know.
Get that
you're a
degree.
surgeon, get that degree, bro. Go to school for 20 years. Know your shit. You know. But if you're going to school because Like, what's your major? English. What's your major? The liberal arts. Bro, what the fuck?
But there's nothing wrong with that, right?
It's nothing wrong, but it's like, how are you gonna make a career out of that?
I mean, a lot of people make careers. I thought and that's literally the point of the show, right? Because there's someone with a liberal arts degree is going to come in here and say, I do X, Y, Z. And then you're going to be like, I had no idea you could do that. Right. And so that's the whole point of the show.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
So it's like, because someone's going to come and watch this and be
Mhm.
like, you can make, well, hold on. You can make how much doing DoorDash?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
it's going to create, it's like this hot topic that no one knows about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one knows how much you make.
Yeah.
You're probably making a lot more than a lot of people our age right now.
Oh, I agree.
That's true.
But it takes money to make money, right?
Exactly.
Mhm.
And I think it takes consistency and hard work.
Mhm.
And just perseverance, bro. It's like, bro, we live in 2022. You gotta
Mhm.
work hard if you want certain things.
That's true.
And not just that, but it's like if you have a girl or you have a wife,
Mhm.
right? You have a partner,
Mhm.
right? And it's like you want to build a life with them.
Mhm.
I feel like men are very weak nowadays,
Ooh.
Mm.
and they're like,
Ooh, ooh.
I feel like, bro, I want to pay half for everything. I want to split everything in half. Like, why? How about you man up and go work harder, or build your career, and go and provide for your lady.
Mhm.
There's gonna be a lot of people that would fight back against what you're saying right now.
That's
Well,
a
that's
hot
because-
button.
That's because men are weak nowadays. They have a different mindset.
Mm.
It's like, why we're genetically, since the dawn of time, since man was created, men are the one that go and hunt and kill and bring dinner to the table.
Mhm.
Whether cavemen existed or not doesn't fucking matter. But the point is, men are the one that go out, they do the hunting, and they
Mhm.
bring back whatever they killed so the family could eat.
Yeah.
If the man didn't hunt, if the man didn't fucking kill that day, the family didn't eat,
Mhm.
right? And I feel like now it's like, if you put it in those terms, it's like, all right, babe, let's go. We're both hunting today. All right, you know what? Here, you go kill that deer. Here, you go do that. Right? I'm just going to sit back and watch. And it's like, or I'm going to kill one thing, you go kill the other. Like, why? It's like men are supposed to be the providers. Men are supposed to be the killers. Men go work.
Mhm.
Right? Take care of your lady.
Mhm.
What if? And how do you feel about like some women that don't see eye to eye with that, right? Because like there are tons of women that are just as strong as men, if not stronger, right? And make more money. I know tons of women that make
Six
fuck ton-
figures, maybe
way more than
Oh,
I do.
I
You
do
know what I'm
too.
saying?
I do
So it's
too.
like, do you think like they're in the wrong for that, or
Oh, no, absolutely not. Women, go ahead. Go do what you got to do.
yeah?
Mhm.
Right?
Do you think these lie in like a culture thing, like being Latino, and I think a lot of like traditional things in this culture, like the men are try to be very macho, and just try to like protect.
Machismo.
Yeah,
Machismo.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the word, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So do you think like that your mentality is coming from being first generation, or anything like that?
I was gonna say I would even disagree with that because
You think so?
yes, because machismo, like Joel said, he's like, ladies, if you gotta do what you gotta do, go ahead. Machismo would say absolutely not. I don't care if we're poor. I don't care if we're hungry or dying. You stay in the kitchen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
machismo is like men devalue women,
Yeah.
basically. And machismo, the machismo culture, is like the woman has no say in the household. You do as I say,
Mhm.
and it's like no. That's a toxic trait.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about the Latino communities, whether it's Mexican, whether it's just Latinos overall. At least the ones that were over there, they try to put that on the kids, the first gens here.
Mhm.
It's like, no, the woman has no say in the household, this and that. The men are the only ones. We're the providers. We have all the say. Make me my fucking food. It's like, no.
And you don't believe in that?
I don't believe in that. I never
Yeah.
grew up like that.
Mhm.
My dad was a provider. He
Mhm.
provided for all of us,
Mhm.
right?
But he never devalued your mom.
Never. He never raised his voice to my mom. He never, if they fought, it was behind closed doors. We never saw it,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, I saw that example and I'm like, okay, right? That's because I saw that is because that's what I'm gonna show my kids,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And I see why it keeps transcending into the community that we have today.
Mhm.
The first gen see machismo at home. That's how they treat their woman,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? And because if they build a family, they have kids, That's what they teach to their kids and the kids and so forth and so forth. And that's why the machismo keeps going, right? But I feel like machismo is very a toxic culture, right? It doesn't mean that men shouldn't be providers, though. I feel like a lot of people confuse that. Like, oh, I don't want to be machismo. You know what? Let's split everything, right?
So they overcompensate.
Yes.
Instead of just saying like, let's find a fine line, or like, let's see where you can help out if you want.
Yeah.
This and that. And then they're like, oh, well then, if you're going to help, then let's just do this 50-50.
Yeah, it's like.
And you don't think it should be like that?
No, like, there's some people that I met, like, babe, I'm going to the store. Like, here, just Venmo me. Like, Venmo me half of it. Like, what the fuck? Venmo half of a detergent? half of a jug of milk? Like, bro.
Yeah.
We just split a Costco hot dog. You better give me
Yeah,
my
bro, you better
75
give me
cents.
half of that hot dog and half of that aluminum foil. Like, bro, like, why?
Run me my 75 cents.
And that's why women go towards where they feel most secure, right? Because they go towards the man. They're like, you know what, this guy can provide for me, right?
Yeah.
And that's always a conversation I have with my girlfriend. Like, men nowadays, it's like they don't provide the way they should, and I feel like that's one thing why I also ended up selling my car, you know, because it's like my priorities weren't intact. She was like, you got this nice car, but then what?
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, you're right. It's like, I'm using it, you know, to show off. Really, that's what it was, you know.
But like, but now who do you have to show off for?
Exactly. Now it's like,
right, you got everything.
Yeah, you know, I got what I need.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't need to be showing off in an $80,000 car. For who? For the car shows? For Instagram?
Because like, once you leave, they don't give a fuck.
Honestly, bro, it's like, oh damn, look, a Hellcat. All right.
All right.
Cool.
Anyways, yeah.
All right,
Anyways,
going back to what I was doing. You know.
Yeah.
And it's like.
Now, if you were using it to make money, that's a different thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know.
Like if you had decals all over while you were doing Uber Eats and like that, that's a different story.
Not even that, you know, but it's like a nice car. I feel like that's the thing that like she really like opened up my eyes. I was like, because she would say like, why do you have a nice car? Like you should be buying a home. You should be investing in a property. You should be investing, like putting those $1,100 a month into something that can actually benefit you. And I was like, fuck, you're right.
Yeah.
You know, eventually I did end up selling the Hellcat, and I was like, dude, $1,100 a month that I do not have to pay, plus the $300 on insurance, plus the gas. I was like, bro,
do you
save
see it?
so
do you
much.
see it now? Like, now that it's gone, you're like, I don't know why the hell I ever had that.
Honestly, I was like, damn. I mean, I had my fun. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, of course.
But at the same time, I'm like, damn.
Was it worth it?
Was it worth it?
Probably not. At the time, it was.
At the time, it was.
Yeah. You
know?
were single. You were like, whoop whoop.
I mean, I think you could say like in that time that you had the car, you're like, I'm glad for the memories, but I'm glad I'm done.
Yeah. 100%. You know, and now I'm like.
And now it got stolen.
And now it got stolen twice from the lot.
It got stolen off the lot.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. Police
Did they
department
find
called
it?
me. No, I don't think so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
As long as it's not in your name.
that's fine.
That's the thing. The tickets are being sent to me, but it's all right. The dealership's taking care of
But
it.
you're taking care of it? But is it
Dealership
going to
is-
stay on your
Dealership.
record?
No,
Okay.
the
Okay.
dealership is. You know.
Okay.
Well, we'll see you
But-
in court. Don't
Well,
worry.
dang. Today,
And that's why you go to school to become a lawyer.
yes, please get that degree. Well, dang, we learned a lot today. Actually, we learned the insides of like being an Uber, driver, or not driver, Uber Eats. What was it?
Still the same thing.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? There's one
DoorDash, there we go.
I didn't ask. What's this? Because one thing I want viewers to know. What should someone expect if they want to do this?
Oh.
How much should they make? Or what should they anticipate when they start?
At first, it's going to be very hectic because you have to learn. You have to learn how to use both apps.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes one app sends you an order, takes you this way. Then the other app gives you an order that sends you this way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you're also timed on these deliveries.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
So like they start docking money if you don't get there on
Not
time?
money, but at least in DoorDash. In DoorDash, they give you like a red mark. You have three
Mm-hmm.
red marks. Once you hit 3 or 4, they can actually cancel your account and delete it.
Oh, wow.
Has that happened to you?
No.
How many red marks you got?
The most I've gone was 3.
So you
I believe it's 4 then.
they can get 3 marks a day?
What I read online was that it depends on the severity of these red marks. Like if you stole the food and you never delivered it,
That's right.
That's
it's like,
one.
okay,
Obviously
but
one.
they'd fucking delete your account.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like if you got there late,
Like
you know,
2 minutes.
like no, like 2 minutes you're fine. They don't give you anything. But if you're late like 15 minutes, it's like all right.
Like what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
You know?
okay. I see.
And it's like it's not that I was doing anything bad. It's just that I was taking care of the Uber Eats order
Yeah.
and then delivering the DoorDash order. And it's like you gotta.
But now that you got that down,
now that I have that down, I mean, I still get marked every once in a while, you
Mhm.
know, but it's very rare nowadays.
can you get rid of the red marks?
Yeah,
Oh, they go away after a
the
while.
more deliveries you do.
Oh,
okay, I
yeah.
see.
so you
It
get
doesn't
you
stay
get
on forever.
pinged and then you go like ding ding.
Yeah,
ding,
it's like
and
the
then it
last
goes,
100 deliveries.
Oh,
Yeah, the more deliveries you do, the more it keeps going down the list until eventually, like you reach 100 deliveries, and then
goes-
it deletes.
It deletes.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. That's
Ah.
pretty
yeah.
cool.
So it's like you can actually take those out.
So what should someone expect to make like weekly or monthly if they just start?
If they just start, because you're getting an adjustment to it, I'd probably say 150 to 200. Well, it depends how many hours you work. Let's say you do 11 to 8, 9 hours,
Uh huh.
right? Excuse me. I'd probably say about maybe 150 a day
150 a day.
starting.
That's not bad.
150 to 200.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's
once you
pretty
get in
solid for someone who's just getting, especially if it's like a side gig. But
Yeah.
you say you have to do like 9 hours to get that.
It could be less, especially on a weekend, during a week when it's not as busy. You know, and it helps when you have generous people that
Yeah,
actually give you tips.
that's not including tips.
Yeah. No, it does include tips.
Oh, that's
150.
including tips.
Yeah. You know, but
Okay.
there are people that are very generous.
Mm-hmm.
What's the
most
biggest tip you ever got?
$100 bill and an original copy of The Wizard of Oz.
What?
Yeah.
That is so random.
Okay, so this is the thing. I know. It's funny.
Wait. Do you have it still?
Oh, I do.
Oh my
So
god.
I'll tell
You have the $100 bill or the copy?
No, the copy.
So this is the thing. So this was back when I was first doing DoorDash. So I picked up from, I forgot where I picked up from, but I delivered it across the street, literally the apartments across the street where the Save Mart used to be on El
Mhm.
Camino. It's now a Ramos Furniture, where the Rite Aid is, the Moonlight Center.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I delivered it.
those new fancy apartments.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I delivered it there. I go in, park the car, go upstairs. I think it was like the 4th floor. I don't remember. I knock on the door. It's this old guy, very old guy. He's like in his 70s, you know. But this is like, it looks like it's a retirement home or like a home for like specifically older people.
Senior.
Senior living.
Yeah,
Yeah,
senior
yeah.
living. So you know, I'm like talking to him. I'm about to give him his food, and he's just like chatting it up with me, this and that. And then he was like we were there for like 10, 15 minutes. I forgot what we were talking about, but then he's like, "Yo, you got kids, man?" I was like, "Nah, I don't have kids." I ain't gonna lie, I was a little scared of this guy. He looked like a little crackhead, you know. But
He was off the meds.
he was like, "You got kids, man?" I was like, "Nah, I don't have any kids."
He's like, give me your hat.
He was like, "Oh, that's too bad." I'm like, "Well, you know what? Here, for this, like, because you deliver this order, I just want to be really generous to you." He goes back in, opens the safe, comes back out. Here's $100 bill. I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "I appreciate it, man. Thank you." He's like, "You know what? Come in." I was like, "This is a little weird." I ain't gonna lie.
he's like, take your pants off. It's all good.
He started sounding like the
Dinner and a show.
Dinner ended. He's like, as I eat my French fries.
what's the one Herbert, the guy from Family Guy.
I don't know those shows. I don't know. I only know as Quagmire. I don't know anything about those shows.
No, I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about. Hey, Chris.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I've seen a lot of videos.
Yeah, the one with the little walker.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
I forgot what his name is. But eventually he came in. He started just talking more about his life. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I was good. I was there for like a good 30 minutes. Keep in mind, I still had delivery I had to pick up, and I was like 45 minutes late.
He's like, damn, I got
Red
a red
mark.
mark.
Red mark.
I got a red mark.
you know. But like I was there, and then afterwards he was starting telling me about his book collection, this and that. And after I was like, all right, well, I gotta head out. And he's like, well, you know what? Because you were here and you listened to me, you know, and you're young. Young people don't do that. I was like, yeah, you know, I like to learn about life experiences from older people.
Yeah.
I like to see you guys are full of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, well, you know what? For here, because you were here listening to me, I'm gonna give you something. Now, I'm gonna show you that it's legit. And I want you to do me a favor.
Don't sell it.
Don't sell it. At least
Dang
not yet.
it.
I was like, all right. He's like, don't sell it. I was like, well, where was he gonna give me? And he goes into his safe. He had like those big safes.
Uh-huh.
He goes in, puts in the code and everything, and he pulls out an old book. This book is is like
I thought you meant like a movie, like a
no,
VHS or some shit.
No, there was a book. I was like, bro, this should look hella raggedy. The pages are yellow.
Yeah.
And then he showed me. He's like, you see this print right here? I was like, yeah. He's like, you see this right here? I was like, yeah. He was like, you see this? Blah, blah, blah. He started showing me everything. And he looked it up online. He's like, all right, this is an original copy of The Wizard of Oz. All right. The published ones, or at least like the later ones that are like regular ones, they don't say this line. It said dedicated, I believe it was to like his son or something like that. Dedicated to so and so person. And he's like, look, and he looked online how much that book costs. He's like, this book, don't sell it. At that point, it was $5,000.
Damn.
If I sold it at that point today, most likely more, because it's a collectible.
You should probably look at it.
I should probably look at it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a down payment on a house, possibly.
And maybe not that much, you know, but for sure.
You never know, man.
No,
You know,
you never. Okay.
To the
'cause,
right,
like,
the right
True.
person. To the right person, that's
Very
gonna be
true.
a
Yeah.
lot of money.
That very true.
especially since it's a classic.
Yeah.
It's one of the
Yeah.
classics.
It's not in mint condition, but it's still,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
an original copy.
Uh-huh.
Take that to Leatherby's, or not Leatherby's. What's Sotheby's?
Oh yeah,
Sotheby's. Leatherby's is like an ice cream shop.
But like those kind of books, like old school, like classic, and I was like, damn, like $5,100 right here that I got for tip, and I still have it. I still have it.
Nice.
Yeah, don't sell it, bro.
I haven't
Don't
sold it
sell
yet.
it.
Haven't sold it yet.
She's like, you know how many
Yes.
purses that is?
She's like,
She's like, where my Birkin?
She's like,
oh no,
Where
I
my
need a
Birkin?
Louis
no,
Vuitton.
she's really eyeing this Christian Dior bag right now.
Oh.
Oh, I know.
And her like, make his pockets.
Literally, you know, and it's you know, her birthday's in less than 2 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Any
What about me,
plans?
mijo?
I know
I got less than 2
Your
days.
birthday's on Monday.
It's Monday.
I know it is. I have it on my calendar.
He took me to the Giants game last year
I know. I
did.
remember
Guess
that.
with Tony Montana.
Tony Montano
Tony Montana.
and the other guy.
I forgot his name.
Me too. But you know what's crazy? That day we went was the day I messaged Ashley.
Oh.
No way.
Remember you remember on the train?
I remember.
Because I remember you were like,
I was like, just do it.
you
Do
were
it.
like, you're cute, bro. Do it. And I was like, all right.
You're like,
Send.
bet. And I'm like, you won't. And then we were drinking. And then he's all like, it took a couple sips for him to be like, should I do it? I'm like, we were just like, we said it for like 30 minutes ago, dude. He's like,
oh my god.
he's like, should I do it? And I'm like, dude, we're at the game. Just do it.
It's like the fourth inning.
It's like
Bro, should I do it?
It's like, I don't know.
We're like getting nachos. He's like, what about now? I'm like, bro.
Wow. Well, that's crazy. Wow. You never expect that. Just doing a delivery. Okay, sure.
Yeah, honestly,
That's
I was like,
That's cool, man.
oh shit, you know. So I mean, I do it right for myself, you know, and I feel like, you know, I could always do better.
Okay.
Oh, I think we all can. We all can, right?
We can all, you know, be grateful,
Mhm.
never satisfied.
Okay. Is there any last words? Anything that you would like? Last piece of advice for anyone out there?
So work hard.
Okay.
You know, in anything that you do, whether it's liberal arts.
He's really like, dude, who hurt you? Like,
Damn, I get it.
Person like was all like, you
Sheesh.
suck.
No, like whether it's liberal arts, whatever trade you're in, whatever career you do, work hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, work hard. be consistent, and you know, and live life to the fullest.
Oh, dang.
You know, make the most out of your days. You know, because we have a short life on this earth, and we got to make the best of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice, man.
Well, that was great.
I appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah, I felt like I learned a lot, right? Not
I
just
sure did.
DoorDash.
Me
I learned
too.
about life insurance. I learned about the Wizard of Oz. Everything.
If y'all need life insurance, just hit me up.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Well, thanks for tuning in to another episode. Appreciate it.